Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the shop for a visit. Today we're going to take something that I know a lot of guys want to do, but it can end up being kind of a daunting task. We're going to take that daunting task and we're going to make it easy, make it fun even, and we're going to install cab lights on this truck here. So what I've got here is the easy, the right way, and the slick way to do it with the Boost Auto S-Series cab lights. So not only did Boost send us the S-Series cab lights, we've also got the cab light module. Well, what does that do? Well, if you guys have watched my videos for any amount of time, you know that Boost has sent over some tow mirrors as well as running boards with the sequential switchback. So they look all fancy whenever your turn signals come on. They flash and strobe and all that fun stuff. That's what this S-Series cab light module does. It takes it from being just a standard white light that I've already got for everywhere else, and it'll turn it into the kind of the amber yet yellowish color that strobes through as your turn signal comes on. So that's what this does. You don't have to have this. This is an extra add-on. If you want, you can just get the cab lights, but Boost, they've been good to me. They sent out both of them. So thank you, Boost, for sending this over and allowing us to do this install. We're going to see how much fun we can make it and how good they look whenever it's all said and done. So those are the two boxes that I've got there. In fact, let me grab the rest of the stuff that came. Whenever it came in the mail, this is what everything came in right here. And there's also, this is the important part and what makes it easy, a template for drilling your holes. And then of course all our wiring, into they sent us a few different goodies and whatnot. Got to have the coaster and whatnot. And we're finally, Boost has sent us enough stuff. We got to give them a shout out here. We're going to put the sticker on the truck. And in the bottom of this box, just some more wiring and stuff, but we'll get to all that. So before we tear into this thing, let me show you, I've got my tool cart lined up with pretty much everything that I think you're going to need. If I didn't include it here, I'll make sure to mention it later in the video. So come over to the tool cart and let's get this project started. As many of you know that have watched my previous videos, I'm a big advocate of having a tool cart for projects like this. That way you can throw everything on your cart and not have to chase everything down, running across your shop 23 times, right? So on the bottom, I'm gonna put everything that we got from Boost. And up top, I've got just about everything that I think we need for a successful project here. The only thing I'm missing, I think, is some electrical gear. All right, it may look like I've got a lot here in the tool cart, but I really don't. Let me kind of give you a rundown of everything that I've got here that you're gonna need that I know for sure of. I've got my drill, because obviously I'm gonna need to drill some holes. I've got some drill bits. I've got, I had to actually go out and buy a step drill, so this is a good quality one. I did my research, because we need to make a 3/4 inch hole in the roof of the truck. So I've got my drill bit. I've got a few other drill bits down below. I've got some scissors so we can cut up our template a little bit. I've got just a little trim tool to pull some trim off in the truck. Got a heat gun. Got some tape. I did have to buy a little bit of tape. I wanted the wide electrical tape. Guys, get some tape and I'll explain why later in the video. T15 Torx. Doesn't matter what flavor you got. I've got a Phillips head screwdriver here with a T15 as well. I've got a right angle pick for getting in some small spots. Just some bits. This is kind of overlap with this. Some Phillips, some T15. And then of course I've got some tools here to pull some of the insulation off my electrical wires and make some crimps. That's no big deal though. And then I've got just another little impact here. You could use your drill. 8mm wrench. And I call them fish sticks, the fiberglass rods. You could use a coat hanger or anything like that. If you see any of these tools here, don't get intimidated right off the bat here. This really isn't a whole lot. And even if you don't have some of this stuff, I've just got this stuff at my disposal to make the job easier. You don't have to have everything here. You can get away with doing it with stuff that you may have around the shop. Don't feel like you got to necessarily go out and buy all of this stuff to install this. If you got some drill bits, a couple of screwdrivers, you can get this job done. I've stripped insulation with my pocket knife before. You can do it. You don't have to have this stuff here. But it does help make the job easier. So don't get discouraged. Just watch the video all the way through and think to yourself, if you don't have some of this stuff, A, do you want to buy it? Or B, do you want to compromise by using something different? So with everything laid out here, let's go ahead and get started. Of course, the first few steps here are easy. We're going to pop the hood. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to put the seats all the way back just to make it easier to gain access in and out of the truck. So we're going to pop the hood, put my seats all the way back, because the first thing we want to do here is we want to make it A, as convenient as possible, and B, as safe as we can. So we need to get these seats all the way back. That way we can get in there, work comfy. And then this is where that 8mm wrench comes in handy, because what we're going to do is we pop the hood to climb under there to take off the negative cable on the battery. Now, if you have a gasser, I think your battery is going to be on the driver's side, if I remember right, on these trucks. So just come disconnect your negative on your driver's side. But I've got an auxiliary battery, being a diesel, so we're also going to disconnect the battery over here. So as you can see, I'm just on the passenger side here, and I'm going to take my negative battery cable, lefty-loosey, and we're going to undo the thread on this bolt. That way we can disconnect it from the truck, and we don't run the risk of shorting anything out or causing any arcs and sparks. If you don't have a diesel or an auxiliary battery, you don't have to worry about this particular battery here, but I've got that off to the side. Now we can do the driver's side. And this is where you're going to see me take, once again, the negative side, and we're just going to undo this bolt and move it out of the way. All right, with both batteries disconnected, we have no electrical going through the truck. We're safe to continue. Now the next part here, I'm actually pretty excited for. This doesn't matter if you're single cab, crew cab, or extended cab like me. We need to drop the front of this headliner, and this is going to be great for me because this is a project I'm going to tackle another day. Look at this headliner, how it's falling. It's looking pretty rough, guys. All we're going to do is pull the front side of this, but this is going to give me an idea of how tough it is to actually pull the rest of it out. So what we're going to do is climb in the truck and start pulling the front of this headliner down. That way it gives us room to drill on the roof, and we don't have to worry about going through a headliner or anything like that. First part of getting this down is we need to take down some of this stuff up here. Let's start with this middle console first. Make sure you take your sunglasses, whatever you got out of here, out. All that's holding this on are two clips right back here, and then right here, you see that little hole? You've got a Phillips head screw in there. So all we're gonna do is get in there and undo that. And with that screw out, you should be able to just take a pry tool on the back here, pry this down, and don't be afraid to get a little bit aggressive with it. There you go, see how it popped out? And then once you get both of these popped out, whoa, see, be careful. What we're gonna do is we need to disconnect this harness here. That way we can continue. So all that you've got there is just a little clip. It looks like you pry back on and take it off. And with that off, once again, the handy dandy tool cart, we can put this down here so we can come back to it in a little bit. And now we need to work on removing the visors, right? Okay, so to get these undone, what you've got here, don't mind the dirty mess, you got two holes here with screws in them, and then a third right here. It's gonna be the same on both sides. And then you've also got a screw right here for this little peg. Okay, so now let's just take my bit here. I forget, I don't know if this is a T15 or a Phillips. That feels like a T15. Right there is gonna be T15. Okay, so I think we're T15 all the way around. Just work slowly, don't get in a hurry. Take this stuff down. Nice. See, that just comes down like that. Then we'll hit these over here, if we got enough room. And out comes that. So I'm going to literally rinse and repeat this procedure on the passenger side. All right, while we're over here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull this part before we go to the passenger side. This is literally rinse and repeat on the passenger side. Let's get you a pry tool, put it right in here on this A-pillar, pull down. And you can see it pulls out like that. And then be mindful, mine doesn't have it, but some of them have tweeters right here. Once again, it's just like that electrical plug we unplugged earlier. Unplug that. You can see I've got a microphone, so I'm gonna take that microphone and kind of run it down so I'm not pinching any wires or anything. And then this A-pillar just kind of wiggles its way out of here. Just like so. And as I mentioned earlier, you might have a little tweeter right here. I don't, and that's just fine. That's gonna allow this to drop down a bit more. Okay, before we move over to the passenger side, what we need to do is we need to remove this piece here. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's just held on to. I'm gonna get something on this side and then just pull it off. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. It comes off like I'm hoping. Yeah, it looks like it does just pull off. In fact, those 2 clips right there are probably enough, but there we go. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. There's just, if you guys can see it in the light there, clip here, that's my side. There's 2 clips there. So you pull down on it from the outside, pull down, and then it'll slide towards you. So that's off. Now, I think on the driver's side, we can just kind of grab the headliner. You can see I'm doing here, pull it down a little bit. That's working like it should. Yeah, it's pulling down. Okay, now I need to rinse and repeat literally what I did here. Take off the visor, take off the A-pillar, and take off the little plastic molding here on the passenger side. There's one extra thing we got to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, on the passenger side here, you can see I've got the hand guard, or the grab bar, and all we got to do is, you can see there's 2 on each side here, little plastic covers, and that's actually what retains these. So I've got just a little right angle pick, and I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to pull this out. See how I'm just shimmying around the edges, making it pull. There we go. So that unlocked. Man, these trucks, I gotta say, are just well designed. They are easy to work on. So far, this has not been a problem at all. There we go. And now that that's like that, I think this thing should just pull off. Maybe if we get it all the way out. Oh, that side's wanting to come. There we go. Okay, what about this side though? Still feels kind of stuck. There we go. Okay, they got to pull pretty far out and then literally just pull the thing out. And now the passenger headliner should, I think it's just going to kind of fall down. I'm going to pull on it and see. Oh yeah. We're golden, boys. Look, the whole front of the headliner has got enough sag that we can get up in there and do whatever we need. So this is going to be an easy project whenever I do the headliner. I mean, literally the only things I got are the back handlebars, the middle there, and maybe some plugs there. I think I'm going to be able to knock this out. That's going to be a future project. Stay tuned. But now let's go ahead that we've got this dropped. We're in a good enough spot now where we can start the dreaded drilling. This right here is where Boost made a difference. So a lot of other aftermarket cab lights, what you have to do is you have to cut square holes in your roof. And that's just, that doesn't look real clean. That's not something that I'm gonna do, is cut square holes and just, I'm not a fabricator, guys. I don't cut on metal every day. That's not for me. Boost has made it easy with this template right here. You don't have to cut weird square holes or anything like that. You can see they send you a template that they got labeled right here, GMT 800, which is what we've got. And you'll see the magic once I get this template out of here. All this template is, once we unfold it, and it's pretty thick paper too. I like that. It's not going to necessarily tear on you. Here's the template. Let's take you over to the counter so you can get a better look at it. It's a lot for you guys to take in there, isn't it? Well, the beauty of this is they've laid this out in a way that's going to make it so much easier. So it might be tough to see from back there, but basically you're going to cut this into thirds. You've got, looking at the truck, so this is the driver's side where the cab light's going to go. This is where the middle light goes, and this is where the passenger light goes. So all we're going to do is cut it in thirds on the dotted line here. So you can see now I can take this piece and I can cut out around here, and we can line this up on the roof line. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and cut this one. Nice. Okay, I've got it cut into thirds. Now what I'm going to do is, it just makes it more digestible like that. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the template that you can see here, see where the lines are, just cut out the template edges, because this arrow is going to be where we face the windshield at. And they've even been as nice as to give us an idea of where our pilot holes need to go and everything like that. So let's get started. Now I'm really going to take my time on this and try to be fairly precise cutting along the edges on all 3 of these. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but I suggest you do too. That way you've got it exactly how you need it to line up. All right, now that I've got the templates cut out, check it out. This is how they work. This is the driver's side. See that arrow? That points down towards the glass. It tells you exactly where your holes need to go and the size and your pilot holes that you need to drill. This is just very well thought out. It's that way for the middle cab light. You can see exactly the size of holes that you need. And passenger. If that doesn't make sense, let me make it make sense for you. We're going to hop on the truck and we're going to start taping some stuff down, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. All right, so you guys watching from afar, what exactly I've done. We need to find the center of the roof, right? We got a good idea where it is. Obviously, we're the mirror, but what I've done is I've taped a tape measure up on the side here. Probably one of those fabric tape measures would be even better, but we're working with what I've got out here. And then I've put a piece of tape, blue tape, up where I think close to the middle of the windshield is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take that tape measure with it taped down on the other side, and we're going to try to get a good idea of where the middle is. So it's probably 57 with that curvature in there. It's kind of tough to tell. Avery, stop. Yeah, I'd say we're at 57, so the middle should be, what is that, 28. 28.5 inches, roughly. You know, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to do this with a fabric tape measure because I want to be 100% for sure. I don't want to just be guessing. So I'm going to grab a fabric tape measure. But if you know exactly where the middle is, mark it off. All right, nice. We got the fabric tape measure up there. Went in the house, borrowed that. Got to have that for clothing and whatnot, right? So now we're just going to take it and see. It's going to have a little bit more curvature to it to where I can kind of pull it a little bit tighter. Get a good idea. See, I'm glad I did that because this is a bit more than I thought. So we got 55 and a half-ish. And I bet if I pulled this tight, 55 and a half. So what is that mental math, guys? Half of 50, 25, and then you got another 5, that's 2.5, so 27 and a half plus a quarter, 27 and a half plus a quarter, so 3/4. I'll mark mine, 27 3/4 is what I'm thinking we're at. 27 3/4. Now, the name of the game is looking and saying, does that match? I'm kind of particular about things like that. I'm going to look straight on with the, dang, that's pretty close, right in line with the mirror there. That's got to be it. So I'm going to say 27 3/4 is where the middle of mine is. And that, I mean, that seems to be, okay, I'm done second guessing myself. I think I'm happy with where the measurement is. Close to center there. This, I will tell you, if you measure from on the glass, it seems like it's 27 3/4. If you measure with a tape measure on top, like where the roof line actually is, above the rubber gasket, where the paint is and the metal is, 28 inches seems to be the middle. That's just based on my measuring. Obviously, do your own measuring. Make sure you're happy with it before you do it. Make your middle mark, just as you can see with my blue tape that I've got there. And now I'm going to take my template, and this will make a lot of sense once you guys are able to come over here and look at this. I want to clean off my roof. It's a little bit wet because I want my tape to stick. And now we're going to tape the template on, and we're going to start drilling. All right, just get me a shop towel. Dry off my area where I'm going to work, just like so. That way we can get some good adhesion with our tape here. And I'm going to stick on, you're going to see the right hand template here. It follows the curvature of the roof, just like so. So I'll line this up. Guys, that seems pretty on point right there. So now all I'm going to do is take some tape, tape up all my corners. I don't want this thing sliding around on me. Make sure it's secured. Take your time on this, on all steps really. Take your time. Don't get in a rush. Don't make silly mistakes. You'll be just fine. See how I'm taping all the corners down? I know you're kind of far over there. Just gonna get all these laid down. And then I'm gonna do the same with the middle. Okay, so with the doors open and my templates all taped up here, when you hop up, what you're gonna see are the templates all taped down. See how the middle line matches up with the arrow? And it matches the curvature of the roof here, just like so. So we know that we're gonna drill in all these spots, as long as you don't cover up any holes like I did there. So here's the beauty of it. See the smallest hole there? That's the 1/8 inch pilot. You're gonna drill a pilot hole in every one of these. Then you can see the next biggest hole is a 3/8 inch, and the next biggest is 3/4. So you've got, every one of them needs the pilot 1/8 drilled in it, and then obviously the 3/8, and then you've got 3 of the 3/4. And you can see I've just got everything taped down and lined up best I can here. And now I'm going to start drilling out all of these with the 1/8 inch drill bit. Okay guys, here comes the moment. We're gonna drill our pilot holes. Don't be scared, okay? It's not even your truck, don't worry. Okay, so I've got my 1/8 inch drill bit, and I'm going to do my darndest to hold myself here. Start drilling some holes. Make sure it's on the drill setting too. No going back now, boys. We got a hole in the roof. This is magnetic, I think, which is good. Catch those metal shavings. Make sure you don't go all the way through. There we go. Okay, so we got those. Now I need to do the middle ones. Maybe a little tricky. I'm gonna stand on the seat, I think. Take your time, don't get sloppy. Okay, now I'm gonna jump over to the driver's side. We'll finish this up. Nice, okay. So we got all the holes drilled. Now all I'm gonna do is take my template, and I'm not gonna throw them away yet, guys. I'm just gonna kind of tilt it forward, let the middle shavings come forward. Well, there was a dot there. I was like, oh crap, I drilled an extra hole. That's not the case. All I'm gonna do is, rather than toss these, I'm gonna peel them up, and I'm gonna bring them down to the center of the windshield here. That way I can reference which ones need to be what size. So just set it like that. We got a nice little map here. And then don't forget to take a cloth or something, wipe the metal shavings off so you're not causing any issues there. So I'm gonna bring that other template down, get me just a little shop towel or something, and wipe this down. Okay, it's showtime. We got all our pilot holes drilled, and now see what I've done here? Pretty smart. I can look at my template and I can tell what needs to be the 3/4, what needs to be the 3/8. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get that 3/4 so I don't have to keep jumping up and down on this side and back and forth. And we'll start drilling this. Picked up this DeWalt step drill bit from Amazon, and I gotta say I like the Milwaukee power tools, but I think DeWalt probably makes the better bits if you're asking me anyway. So let's go ahead and let's get going. We know where our holes are. If you want to put something in the bottom of your headliner to catch this, you're certainly able to do so. I know the top one here is going to be my 3/4, and the rest of them are my 3/8. So all I'm doing here, guys, is just checking myself. Make sure I've got the right bit. 3/8. Yep. So let's get drilling. Oh, yeah. And before we get started, okay, you almost saw me make a mistake there. Guys, take your holes and put some tape over them. This to me is a vital step, because what will happen if you don't do this, I promise you, is you will take this drill bit, and whenever you're trying to drill this, even though you got that pilot, you might walk it and then you're going to scratch the crap out of your paint. So be safe and put you a piece of tape right over the holes that you've made to keep everything nice and safe here. You can even take your Sharpie or your drill bit and mark where the hole itself actually is. If you push on this, you'll see it print right there, right there, right there. Perfect. And then we'll do the same for those over there. And now all I'm going to do is drill these things out. So 3/8. Let's see if we can get this knocked out. Be mindful and cautious here as we start drilling. Okay, double checking my work here. I'm going to come back to that one, see if I need to do that again. Where's the 3/4 on this guy over here? So we've got that one. Okay, that's the 3/4. Okay, so we'll start stepping this guy down. Don't touch those shavings with your hands either, guys. I'll bring you guys over on this side so you can get in on the action here and actually see me doing this. Get all my bits and everything. We'll come over that way. Get my Sharpie, my tape's up there. Good. I'm ready to execute. If you're second guessing, double check your work, guys. It takes 2 seconds to do it. So now the top hole here is our, I need to move that out of the way. Top hole here is where our step bit's gonna go. So I'll line it up and let's get the drilling. I really have never used one of these step bits, and I really like how it just literally steps down, and so you know when you're done. Yeah, once it gets to the end, it really starts chewing through it. Okay, I think that's it right there. For the step bit, I'm going to keep it out because I'm not 100% sure if I drilled all the way to the 3/4. We're close though. And now the rest of these pilot holes, we can drill our 3/8. I think I'm going to shop vac this roof and get some of this crap off. Okay, now that I got everything shop vaced up, I think what I'm going to do is some of my holes have a little bit of some hairs, metal shavings still on them. I'm going to clean those up with just a pair of side cutters I can find. You don't want these metal shavings being left over on your roof. Second thought, I probably would have done the step bit for all these, but it ended up working out all right. Okay, now I think what we need to do is take our cab lights and get them ready for install. Now comes the rewarding part. We're gonna hop up here with the right-hand cab light. By the way, right down here under the plug-in, it says right hand. So that's how you know which one it is. And we're gonna take the set of screws and everything that come in the box, and there's these little plastic retaining clips that you plug in. And it looks like they just clip right in the hole. There we go, there's one. We're gonna do all the 3/8" holes this way, just like so. And then we take, like for this one here, see, you can twist them around. And what you do is you just line it up, and we'll take the cover off. Yeah, and it tells you to, by the way, use hand tools to tighten this down, because guess what? You're gonna have a bad time if you go to tighten this down and break it with your torquer. So now we'll just line this up. We do have a little wiggle room for some play here. Nice, guys. Look there. went right on. Now we'll take the screws in the pack. They're just Phillips screws, and we'll tighten those down evenly. If you don't have one of these, you definitely need one of these Williams ratcheting screwdrivers. For jobs like this, it makes it nice and easy. So we'll take the Phillips head, the appropriate sized one. I think I'll use the bigger of the two. I'm not good at telling Phillips number 1 from number 2. Isn't that funny? And now, put all the bits back in there. And then check this out. So all we do is we put our bit in here, and then we start tightening it down. Just like this. You'll feel it starting to get tight. Nice thing about the boost, actually I am going to use the smaller bit. The nice thing about these boosts here, they've got a good rubber seal on them. So I don't think that these are going to leak for years to come. Oh, you know what? I just about messed up too. I'm glad I said that, talking about leaks. So there's also some rubber gaskets that you're supposed to put down before you put the screws in the bag here. So let's get those rubber gaskets out, and let's put those down before I tighten these screws down. So all I'm going to do is take these out. So you can turn my ratchet like that. And then I'll take these screws out. And we'll put the gasket down. See, there they are. Just little rubber washers, basically, that you put this over the screw. And this will make sure no water gets in there. It'll make it a watertight seal, as they say. So we'll put that one there. Let's unscrew this guy. Put the rubber gasket on. See, this is why it's important to take your time whenever you're working on projects. Sometimes I get excited and get in a hurry, but if you take your time, you're far less likely to screw up something. And so far, this has been pretty easy. Nice. There's one. So now let's get the rest of these little plugs and put them in there. Okay, let's see if we can get that middle light on now. Looks like they're square, so I think this could be a little bit of the trick, so to speak, to try to line these up to where they'll seat down in there. I don't know if these need to turn sideways, if that really matters or not. Nope, how about that? Set right down. Peel this off. Boy, that's satisfying. I love getting to peel off the plastic off a new part. Anything, really. And all I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to finish this up. I don't see any reason to record the rest of this. Just screw the rest of this the way down. And there we have it, guys. Everything's screwed down. I'm going to go ahead and take the templates off. We don't need those anymore. All our drilling worries are over. They're up. It looks pretty good so far, doesn't it? They look like they belong there. I'm pretty happy so far. So let's peel this junk off since we don't need it anymore. Man, I'm not tall enough to get that. Overall, I gotta say, not bad. They definitely tightened them down, but really nice. I don't have any reason to believe these are gonna leak or anything. They ended up working out really well, and everything looks even to me. I'm happy. Oh, of course it ripped. Let's get that off. Oh, and a little bit of tape. It's okay. We don't need the template anymore. We are done pretty much outside. Now what we get to do is some electrical wiring, which may be a little bit different for some of you guys, depending on if you have a 99 through 02 versus 03 through 07. But let's show you the 03 through 07 and putting the module in as well. Depending on the version that you get, steps may be a little bit different, but watching this is still going to be beneficial for you. Now let the electrical magic begin. We're going to take this piece here, which you can see is wrapped, and it's got 3 connectors on it. So we need to unravel this, and we need to start on the passenger side, and basically under the headliner here, we're going to run it over to the driver's side as we make our way over. My goodness, we've got some serious wire here. So now that I've unraveled this, you're going to see is it's going to have one end with 2 wires. You want that to go to the driver's side. And the end that I want has a plug on it. You're probably following at this point. So there's 3 of them along the way here. And all we're going to do is we're going to run this up and through. I'm going to run it through the middle here so I can pull this headliner down. And basically what I'm going to do is pull this headliner down and pull the cord up over through here to plug it in up there. All right, can you see the little trickery I'm going to do here? Just plug it in. Of course, make sure you get it the right way. There you go. Did you hear that plug in? Now we're going to do it for the middle. There it is right there. It's like so. Make sure to kind of tuck everything up nice and neat so you're not pinching any wires or anything. And then obviously this one is going to run through the rest of the headliner that way. So I'm going to tuck this up in there and run it over that side and plug that third one in. And then we can run down that A-pillar with the rest of it. All right, now you can see we've pretty much got this hid up in there with everything plugged in, all 3 sides. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run this down the A-pillar down behind this to where we can run it out somewhere else. I'm not sure yet, but you get the idea, because this is all going to be hidden and it's going to look factory whenever it's all said and done. All right, guys, I'm back at it. Took myself just a little lunch break. That way I could get some food in me. And now we're going to keep right on working with what we're doing here. So first thing I want to take a look at is when I left you guys, we worked on routing everything over here, just like so. All I need to do now is I need to route this, the wiring that we were just looking at for the cab lights. I want to route it down this right here, basically to the footwell is what I'm looking to do. So what you're going to see is there's a little panel, a fuse panel right here. You just pull up and out on it, comes off. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through the top down here till I can see it down here. And maybe fold these wires up so I don't pinch them or anything. Just start dropping it. See if we can feel it coming through anywhere. There we go. So I can feel it coming through. So I'm going to first pull it through this fuse panel here all the way. Man, we got a lot of extra. That's good. So now I can take this and just run it right into the footwell of the truck, just like so. I might even kind of hide this behind some of the harnesses and wiring that is already in here. I don't want this to be in the way necessarily of my fuse block. So if you're going to do something, you might as well try to do it right and make it look clean. If it's to your ability, it's worth doing. There we go. Okay, all I'm gonna do now is just kind of check and make sure that I can kind of tidy this, push it to the back, if you will. That's gonna work, I think. I really do. Okay, came out the footwell here. I want to come out the back of this, I wonder. Okay, we'll see. Now, let me get the little S-Series cab light module, and this is where some of the magic begins with the switchbacks and all that sort of stuff. So we got that out of the box. Don't think I need the box anymore. Now what we're going to do, you can see we've got a black and a blue wire. We're going to need to attach those to our brown and our green. Now, seeing how we've got lots of excess here, we might be able to trim some of this back just a little bit. And I also want to look and see, okay, we got some fuse taps. Oh yeah, I got 3 different fuse taps here, which makes sense because the wiring's going to call for that. And then I've got some more wire here, some more taps and spade bits and whatnot. And then some more wire here. So let's figure out where all this goes before we get too crazy. Okay, so first step looks pretty easy. I'm going to get my crimps and some of my electrical tools here. My strippers, my crimps, and my heat gun. And what we're going to do, since we did get the option for the turn signal, we got to take our module here, and on the output side you've got a blue and a black. And what we need to do is our wire that we just ran down here, we need to take the ends of it right here and strip these 2 wires back, the green and the brown. So that's where these little wire strippers come in handy. I really, really like these ones here because you can get to a very small gauge. And whoops, actually this is 20 gauge, so I need to strip this. How much do I want to strip off? Probably a little bit more than that. So see, look how this works. You just set it right in there, strips the wires right off. You don't have to do this, guys. You can use a pocket knife. Just be careful. Those are just handy. And now we gotta put these in here and crimp them down. So if I remember right, it's black to green. Twist these up like this. Black to green. Set it in the butt connector. Make sure it goes all the way in there. And then I'm going to take my crimp. Oh, and crimp it down. Just like so. Give it a good bite. That way it's not going anywhere. And then the brown to the blue. So once again, just twist these up. Set it in there. I actually kind of like doing electrical work. Set it in there. Bite for a crimp. Just like that. See? Now we've got our connections made. And what we can do is take our heat gun and shrink these down. Now I'll flip it over, hit the other side. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Now let me hit the brown a little bit more. Make sure to set that down not on your cloth seat or leather seat or anything. Those are shrunk down. That's a good connection right there, watertight. Okay, now we need to take all this and pretty much put it in the wheel well. So I'm gonna put it down in here. And now we need to take this right here with the orange wire. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna unravel all this so we can get our wires exposed. Boy, that's a lot of wire, man. Okay, once you got your wires untangled, what you want to do is you want to take the orange and you're going to run it up through the firewall. If I can get you guys a clear shot, hopefully you'll be able to see. But what you're going to do is run it up through the firewall. And what I did, it's probably going to be easier from the engine bay to see this, but what I did was for my tow mirrors, you can see down here. Okay, found it. So fuse box right here. What I did is there's a grommet that's right here. And what you do is you poke a hole through this grommet and run a metal coat hanger, whatever you got. That's where I'd use those fish sticks or those fiberglass sticks. Run it through there. And what's going to happen is you're going to poke through the floorboard over here. You just have to look up under there. And basically you want to pull that orange wire up into your engine bay. Then all you want to do is take one of these fuse taps for that orange wire and you crimp it just like I showed you a second ago. And you tie it into your the trailer park brake for 03 through 07, which is this guy right here. I think I'm going to get lucky, and this is why you guys need the boost mirrors, because the work's already done. I can tie onto this wire that's already here and not have to run it up here and put another fuse tap in, because I can use this right here, is what I believe. So, be that the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie into the orange wire that's already existing for my boost mirrors, because I've already got those, and I'm just going to crimp it. I'm going to tie and splice into the wiring under the kick panel here, since I've already got it. And it's this wire right here. I'll be able to tie into that orange to orange. So if you don't have the boost mirrors, go ahead and get those so you don't have to run it through the engine bay, right? No joke, they are really nice. They work really well for me. I like them. And it's going to save me a little bit of work on this project. They're going to complement each other really well. Okay, so now, knowing what I know, I can start working on this. I'm going to get that wire ready that I was talking about, the orange one. So let me find the end of this connector here, the 3 pins. And I'm going to go ahead and tie it into this guy here. Plug it into the corresponding connector, like so. So that wire, that orange wire, I know that I can get rid of a fair amount of this because I'm not going to have to tie in under the hood. So knowing that, I'm going to go ahead and I want to be generous, so in case I need more, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this right here. So I'll get the orange out of the way. Let's so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a spade bit on this. Sorry, I'm having to think as I'm doing this. So all I'm gonna do is, for my scenario, since I've already got the boost lights, strip this back like so. Boost was kind enough to include plenty of these little T-taps for me so I can get these all connected up. So I'm just going to take one of the T-taps. I only need one. Make sure I got the right one here. I got some blues and some greens. So now I'm going to take this, just like we did earlier. I'm going to put this in here like so. We're going to make a crimp. I got a good bite on that, and I could shrink the butt of this down. Okay, I don't think that one's going to shrink down too much more. So now I'm going to take my, this is the magic of a T-tap right here, guys. What this is going to allow me to do is basically, see, it can push a wire down in there and bite into it and get power from it. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over that orange wire that's down there, and then on the end here it gives me a spade bit to plug into. So that orange wire I was telling you guys about, I think I've got some excess where I can bring this down so you guys can see. So there we go. Yeah, this will work right here. So I'm going to bring this orange wire out so you guys can see it. Zoom in. So watch how this works. All you do is you take this, put your wire in right there, push down. You got to do it pretty firm too. And what it does is it bites into that insulation and gives you a power source. So see, that's bit down like that. Now I can take my spade, plug it in, and now I've got power from that fuse tap from under the hood that I just showed you guys. So now I can tuck this back in away, hide it away for another day. So the other two wires coming off of this 3-pin wire, I'm gonna cut it off. I only need about 3 foot, so I don't need all that extra wire. And we're gonna do the same thing with this guy here. Strip it back, and we're gonna put those fuse taps on it. So strip both wires and put a fuse tap on each one of these. It doesn't matter which ones you grab, especially at this point in the process. All we got to do is take this, feed the wire right in there, and then we're gonna crimp it so we know that we get a good bite. Well, that really crimped good there. So you can see, get a nice bite on that one. And then I'm going to do the same with the other wire. It's here, right here. Another fuse tap, give it a little twist. Set it in and give it a bite. Okay, you can test, just make sure that you got a good bite on it. We're good to go. Now these two wires, all we're going to do is run them back up into this fuse panel here. And that's an easy straight shot right here. So I'll run this up in here. Make sure you're keeping everything neat and organized. And now we need to tap into our little fuse block here. So all we got to do is come in here right into this fuse blocks, those two 10 amps there. The bottom is right turn and the top is left turn. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those out with hopefully this right here. There you go. There's one. Set it down. Hopefully I'm not making you guys motion sick. There's two. And now all we do is the bottom one is going to be your red and green wire. That's going to be your right turn, red and green. Just think of Christmas. And then you're going to come right in here and place your fuse tap. Well, actually, you're going to take one of those 10 amps and put it in there first, in that empty spot. Then all you're going to do is take your red and green wire, plug it back in that bottom spot with this new fuse tap. It's going to be kind of tough for you guys to see here. Simply plug it in, just like we had it before. And make sure to face it down, that way you can put the other one on the top there. So it's right back in here. That one faces up. And then you can take all your excess wire, tuck it down, and kind of hide it. Try to make it look clean if you can. I want to pull this excess wire back, and that way we're not crowding this up. Because think about, you know, If you're gonna work on this in the future or take it to a shop, just, you know, be courteous, keep it as clean as you can, tuck this wire up and make it nice. So now that that stuff is out of the way, we're done with the terminations on that pin. What about the other one? Well, that one's real easy. I'll show you guys exactly how to do it. Okay, I'm gonna turn the flash on for this part for you guys, because what we need to do is we need to tap into some of the power here. So follow your brake pedal up, and what you're gonna see is a connector right here. We need to take this connector off. Just feeling around. I'm guessing the top here, there's a little clip. Push that clip in and pull it down. Yeah, that was definitely a two-hander job there. Okay, now what you're gonna see is the B wire, which is orange. Just how I showed you guys earlier with the T-tap, we're gonna take a T-tap and put on that orange wire. Set it over, and then just push it down like so, and then make sure you get a good bite on it. I may need both hands for this wire. It's a little bit thicker than the other one. So let me set you down and bite that. All right, with the orange wire tapped, now all we got to do is put a spade bit on, well, our other set of wires here. I'm going to guess the red, but let me double check, because I'm going to imagine that the black is ground. Okay, I went ahead and wired up the last of it. When you guys last left me, you saw me take a take a T-tap on that orange wire, and then what I did was put a spade. There's an inline fuse. Make sure you use this. It's for your safety. So put a spade on the open end, and then splice into your red wire on the other end of the fuse, and that runs down into your 2-pin connector that goes into this module right here. And then, just as you would guess, yes, your black is your ground. So find your ground, any old ground. What I ended up doing was well, there's a pedal there. Follow that rusty thing up, and you see that spade? I've just grounded it right there. And so now, guys, before I take all my excess wire and kind of hide it up in here and clean it up a little bit, we're done. We need to test this thing and make sure it's going to work like we're thinking it should. So I'm going to put the batteries on before we tidy everything up and just make sure that we truly are done. With the magic of video editing, you're here, everything's done, but I recommend before you actually tidy everything up, go ahead and make sure that your lights work. So before you put everything back together, make sure your lights work, because I made a mistake. I told you earlier the right hand went over here, but it was the opposite. This one needed to go over here. So the L kind of goes to the outside, because whenever I hit my switch, it looked like the signal was going in the wrong direction, but nonetheless, I've got everything tidied up. I just got an A-pillar to put back on, but check this out, guys. You're gonna like this. So we're gonna do a little click here. See, startup sequence matches the mirrors and the steps. I'll do it from this side so you can see it. Man, that's slick. And then of course, you guys, you paid for a show here. Come on in and let's show you what they look like whenever it's turned on. So we're gonna turn that on. Let's turn the fan off, lights on. And okay, so this is what it would look like at nighttime. And I'll get you guys a little clip of that here soon too. So we got all the white lights, and I went ahead, and I'll do a video on this too, but I went ahead and got some white lights here, and then let's hit the switch so you guys can see what it looks like. So we hit the turn switch, and look, all our white turns to amber, running board, the mirror, as well as the new and improved cab lights. Doesn't that look good, guys? That's sharp. And then here we went ahead and did that too. So see how it's white, and then it turns kind of the amber color. I think it ties everything in very nicely. Like I say, these cab lights are beautiful. So you can see it strobing that way. And then whenever we hit our left hand, we've got it on the left hand side over there. Looks really, really sharp all the way around. Running board, everything. It looks much better at nighttime too, guys, but you can see, pretty beautiful. Now I know you guys are probably curious what this looks like at nighttime, so I'm not gonna cut the video here. We'll cut to nighttime so I can show you what it looks like from the outside so you get an exterior view, and then we'll wrap this video up in the shop. And as promised, here's some nighttime views. So I'm gonna hit the key fob unlock so you guys can see the startup sequence. Let's get a nice angle here so we get the mirrors and the running boards. All right, you ready? Oh, yeah, that's a lot of light, looking like a UFO out there or something. Looks really slick, doesn't it? So it does that whenever you unlock it. I think if you lock it too, yeah, the feedback both on the remote there. And then of course, startup sequence isn't a startup sequence without the key being turned on, right? So it does the same thing with the key turned on. And then with the key turned on at night, you're driving around with a respectable amount of lights here. You can see we've got all the Boost goodies. We've got the auto fog lights, we've got the Luma steps, we've got the mirrors, and then of course the new addition, the cab lights. Okay, let's hit the switch so you guys can see what they look like whenever we got a turn signal, right? That's the important part. Man, that looks good, doesn't it? There we have it. Beautiful, huh? Beautiful. So you can see this side, it's got the sequential amber, and then the other side, just the plain Jane white, just as you'd expect. And just to show you, I'll hit the passenger turn, the right turn, and show you that works. There you go. And of course, the board and everything's lighting up over there. And then to your emergency flashers, they look real nice. Let's show you those real quick. There we go. So now we got the emergency flasher on so you can see what that looks like. Man, that looks good, doesn't it? All right, let's get in the shop and let's finish this video up. Boy, the days are getting shorter by the day here, folks, but that's perfect for this time of year, isn't it? With the new cab lights on, I mean, it's pretty much light from, I don't know, like 7 to 5 here in the Ozarks. So all that lighting just looks good this time of year. So if you're looking at the Boost cab lights, you just saw the install video, everything like that. I've been running them for probably a week or two now, and we've actually had some rain. I can tell you, thumbs up, no leak of any kind. Everything's super dry in there. It just works like it should, like everything else that I have from Boost. You know, between the running boards, the mirrors, and now the cab lights, I think they all complement each other really well. They breathe some new life into the truck, and I can tell you, I get a lot of compliments whenever I get out. People ask about the boards and the lights and everything on it. So I'm sure the cab lights will just add to that. So shout out to Boost Auto. Thank you, Boost, for sending the cab lights out for us to do an install video on. And to let you guys know too, on the mirrors and the running boards, you know, I did install videos on it, but I kind of want to do some follow-up kind of actual review videos instead of just install. So those will be coming, my review on both the mirrors, how I like them, as well as the running board. And then once we get a little more time under our belt with the cab lights, I'll do another update video on those as well. But I got to say, I'm happy with all this stuff. It's really brought some new life into that Duramax, made me just enjoy it that much more. I think that is just a really cool truck. Those generations of trucks are just, they're something special. And Boost is making them just, you know, feel a bit newer with some of the things that they're doing there. So guys, I'll leave a link down below to the cab lights if you want to check those out. And then I've also got videos on the steps, as I said, as well as the mirrors. So if you want to check those out too, I'll leave links down below. And then I'm going to try to make a collection of all the tools that I used in this video in case any of them piqued your interest as I was using them. I'll leave links down below as well to those. So in case you're interested in purchasing, you can do a little research, decide if it's the right tool for you or not. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the video. Thanks again, Boost. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, take care.